After flying across the country to propose on my girlfriend's birthday, I walked in with a cake and heard her on the phone laughing. "He's just a credit card with legs. I'm stalling until I find a real man." Her friend replied, "Might as well milk it while you can." I left the ring in the fridge without a word. The next day, I disappeared. A month later, she showed up crying on my doorstep. You ever spend weeks planning something perfect for someone, only to realize you never really knew them at all? It was a quiet Tuesday night in February when I boarded a plane from Boston to Portland. My girlfriend Emma's 29th birthday was the next day, and I pulled every string I had to get 2 days off. I'm Liam, 31, engineer by trade, planner by nature. I'd been dating Emma for just over 2 years. And I decided this was the moment. I was going to propose. Not in a grand public display. No flash mobs, no skywriting. Just her apartment, some candles, a cake from her favorite bakery, and me getting on one knee. I bought the ring 2 weeks earlier, a clean solitaire and a rose gold band. She once said it was her dream style in passing. I remembered. The flight was hell. Delayed twice, turbulence like a theme park ride, and the guy beside me kept falling asleep on my shoulder. But I didn't care. I had the ring box in my jacket pocket, double wrapped. My carry-on held the cake, protected like it was made of crystal. I even stashed a tiny bottle of champagne, just in case she said yes and we wanted to celebrate. By the time I landed in Portland, it was close to midnight. I grabbed a rideshare and quietly made my way through her apartment building. She'd given me a spare key 6 months earlier after I started visiting more often. She even joked once, "You might as well live here." I held on to that when I needed courage. Her apartment was dim, but not asleep. Light poured faintly from under her bedroom door, and music played, low, jazzy, the kind she always put on during her nighttime skincare routine. I crept in, heart pounding, cake box in hand. I imagined her shocked smile, the way her face always lit up like Christmas lights when she was surprised. I could practically hear her gasp. Then I heard her voice. And it wasn't for me. "I'm serious, Mads. A few more months, that's it. Then I'm done." I froze. Her bedroom door wasn't fully closed. It hung slightly ajar, just enough that I could hear every word, though she had no idea. She was on speakerphone. She's talking to Madison, I thought. Her best friend. The one with the endless string of casual boyfriends and a sharp tongue. I leaned closer, gently setting the cake on the kitchen counter. "Honestly, it's perfect," Emma continued, her tone casual. "He never asks questions. Works too much to notice anything." There was a pause, and then laughter. Cold, amused laughter. "I just keep smiling, playing sweet, and he keeps paying for everything." My stomach dropped. She laughed again. "It's like dating a credit card with legs. Once I get everything set, new job lined up, savings padded, maybe even a relocation, I'm out." She sounded bored. Like she was tired of pretending. He'll never see it coming. I stood there like a ghost in my own plans. My hand rested on the ring box in my pocket. That tiny velvet promise now felt radioactive. Another laugh. "He's sweet, yeah. But I need passion. Fire. He's just a bridge. A really convenient bridge." A muffled chuckle from Madison's end. "So what are you waiting for?" Emma replied, "The birthday. Might as well get a few more gifts out of it." That was it. I turned away, careful not to make a sound. In the fridge, behind the oat milk and a container of strawberries, I left the ring box. Like a message in a bottle from a man she didn't deserve. I didn't slam the door. Didn't shout. Didn't even leave a note. I just walked out into the cold night with my hands in my pockets. I wasn't even angry. Not yet. That would come later. The street outside her building was quiet, blanketed in wet fog. Portland nights had a way of muting the world, like everything was wrapped in wool. I didn't call a cab. I just walked. It's strange, the things your brain focuses on when you're in shock. My main thought as I passed the dark storefronts? I really liked that cake. I wandered for nearly an hour, no direction in mind. Ended up at a 24-hour diner with flickering neon and the smell of burnt coffee. I slid into a cracked vinyl booth, still wearing my travel coat, and ordered nothing but black coffee. I didn't touch it. That was the beginning of my disappearance. I stayed in Portland, but I never went back to her place. I checked into a budget hotel off Sandy Boulevard and powered off my phone. No texts. No calls. I didn't want to hear the fake apologies that would inevitably come once she noticed the ring or the lack of me. The next morning, I bought a burner phone. Left my real one in the hotel room drawer. Cold turkey. That week, I ghosted the life I had spent 2 years building with her. My boss thought I was on a romantic getaway. My friends sent me "you got this" texts. I ignored them all. By day 3, curiosity got the better of me. I turned the burner on and logged into one of my dummy social media accounts, the kind no one knew about. Sure enough, Emma had already posted a boomerang of the birthday cake on her counter. No caption. Just a heart emoji. No mention of me. I imagined her opening the fridge. Seeing that ring box. The realization creeping into her carefully manicured face. Maybe she'd gasped. Maybe she laughed. Maybe she cursed and slammed it shut like it bit her. I'll never know. That night, she finally cracked. A flood of texts lit up my real phone, which I powered on just long enough to read them. Where are you? Liam. We need to talk. Please. Did you leave the ring? It's not what you think. That last one made me laugh. Quiet, bitter. It was exactly what I thought. She called 8 times. I let them all ring out. Then I turned the phone off again. You see, the old me, the me with the dinner reservations and the stupid matching mugs in her cupboard, he might have answered. Might have gone back and listened to her cry and spin some half-truth. But that version of me got left behind with that cake. The one she'd never eat. By the end of that first week, something in me snapped, or maybe it clicked. Hard to tell the difference when you're changing fast. I extended my hotel stay by another 5 nights. Bought a duffel bag and hit the local thrift shop for clean clothes. Same hoodie, different man. I wasn't hiding. I was molting. Every morning, I sat at the diner from day 1. Same booth. Josephine, the night waitress with pink roots and half-moon tattoos on her fingers, started calling me Boston. She never asked why I was there, but she kept the coffee coming and never once looked at me with pity. I liked her for that. While Emma texted things like, "Please, can we talk?" and "I didn't mean it like that," I started making lists. I opened a fresh notebook from a drugstore down the street. Page 1, things I let slide. She once said I was too safe when I suggested visiting my niece's school play instead of going to some party. She called my mom cute in a way that wasn't a compliment. She forgot my birthday, twice. Each bullet point felt like untying a knot I hadn't realized was choking me. By day 10, I called Jared, my best friend and roommate from college. Told him everything. He cursed so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "Dude," he said, "you're coming home?" I paused. Not yet. Truth was, I didn't know where home was. Boston didn't feel right anymore. Portland didn't either. Home had been her voice humming in the kitchen, her cluttered bathroom counter, her hand squeezing mine in the movie theater. But all that had been a lie, hadn't it? So I stayed. And I started planning not for a future with her, but a future without her. The kind she'd never see coming. I visited a lawyer downtown for a consult. Told him everything, carefully, like setting down glass. He said I didn't need to do anything drastic yet, but he did offer advice: start moving your financial chess pieces. Quietly. So I did. New bank account. Changed my online passwords. Disabled shared cloud folders. She wouldn't know it, but the walls were already shifting behind her. Emma kept texting. "I miss you." I was venting. I didn't mean it that way. We had something real. I didn't reply. Silence was the first real answer I'd ever given her. The best part? She had no idea what I was becoming. That the man she thought she'd drained dry was now sharpening blades in the dark. She thought she had time. She didn't. It had been just over 2 weeks since I left the ring in her fridge. By then, I was back in Boston, new apartment, new number, new bank account, and not a single trace of me left for her to follow. I hadn't even told my landlord I was breaking the lease. Jared handled it. He was good like that. I found a small 1-bedroom downtown. Not fancy, but it was mine. No scented candles I didn't like, no pastel throw pillows I'd never picked out. Just silence, space, and a lock only I had the key to. Emma still didn't know where I was. Every few days, I'd power on my old phone, just long enough to read her new messages. I saw the ring. "Liam, it was beautiful. Can you please just talk to me? You owe me that." I didn't mean it like that. It was a dumb conversation. I was venting. Madison says I'm an idiot. She's right. That last one made me pause. Madison admitting fault? That was new. But it didn't matter. Because while she was drafting apologies, I was drafting my counteroffensive. I called my credit card company and flagged all joint transactions from the last 6 months. The one she said she'd pay back but never did. The wine subscription, the new laptop she claimed was for work, the weekend getaway I never got to enjoy. I moved my savings into an investment account with a new firm, one she couldn't access or even Google without the exact spelling. I even pulled the last 3 months of text transcripts from my backup cloud. It took a while, but there it was, black and white, her telling Madison, he's like a credit card with a heartbeat. Those were the receipts I needed. I wasn't planning to sue her or anything like that yet. But I wanted leverage. Documentation. Not because I was angry. But because I wanted to be prepared. She had expected me to crumble quietly. I wasn't going to crumble. I was going to vanish, rebuild, and if she ever tried to spin this narrative, I'd be ready to show the truth. Then came the email. Subject line, please read this. I'm not asking for anything. She'd finally given up on texting. Maybe she figured I'd blocked her, which I had. The email was long, emotional, and mostly full of half apologies. She admitted to saying things she didn't mean. Claimed the conversation had been twisted by context. Said she was in a bad headspace. She'd felt trapped and was trying to vent to her friend. She didn't deny saying what she said. But she blamed stress. Childhood trauma. The fear of settling down. No responsibility. No ownership. She ended with, if you ever want to talk, I'll be here. I know I've lost you. But I hope you know it wasn't all fake. I closed the email. Didn't reply. Instead, I took a photo of the ring, still in its velvet box, and posted it to my private Instagram with a caption, left behind. Just like I was. She didn't follow that account. But Madison did. Within an hour, Emma blocked me on everything. Good. That was the first real decision she made since I left. And it meant I was finally free. About a month after I vanished, the silence finally cracked, not from Emma, but from the people around her. It started with a text from Caroline, a mutual friend who always stayed neutral. She wasn't close with either of us, just someone from our trivia nights. Hey. I don't mean to stir anything, but Emma's telling people you ghosted her after proposing? I stared at the screen, not angry, amused. So that's how she was playing it. I asked Caroline, did she mention the part where she called me a walking credit card? Wait, what, was all she replied. That was the beginning of her narrative unraveling. Apparently, Emma had been telling people I'd flown in with a ring and then panicked. Said I'd gotten cold feet, left her high and dry, and couldn't handle commitment. Cute. But she forgot one thing, she never knew who was loyal to who. That post I'd made, the photo of the ring, caption left behind. Just like I was, it made its way through the grapevine. Madison saw it, and even though she'd stayed quiet until now, guilt has a funny way of loosening tongues. A week later, I got a DM from Madison herself. Just one line. I didn't know you heard. I didn't reply. But I screenshotted it. Emma's story cracked like glass under pressure. Caroline reached out again. This time, her tone was different. Less confused, more furious. She lied to all of us. I can't believe I defended her. Turns out, Emma had been trying to get ahead of the fallout, telling her version to anyone who would listen. But once Madison confirmed what was actually said, people started pulling away. You can only play victim for so long before the receipts show up. Then, another shift. Emma emailed again, this time less pride, more desperation. I know you're angry. I don't blame you. I just miss you. Even if you hate me, please just say something. Anything. That anything never came. Instead, I focused on the version of myself I had let rot while I was too busy being her emotional ATM. I started seeing people again. Friends I hadn't talked to in ages. Got back into rock climbing, something she'd always called a waste of time. My gym shoes hadn't seen daylight in months, they do now. The best part? I stopped waiting for closure. Emma had said everything I needed to hear before I ever left the kitchen that night. The truth didn't come from her apology, it came from her not knowing I was listening. There's no script when people think they're safe. That's when they're the most honest. And Emma was honest that night. The kind of honest that doesn't come back from. It was a Sunday afternoon, cold and gray, the kind that makes you stay in bed longer than you meant to. I just finished making coffee when I heard it. Knock knock. Not loud. Not frantic. Just soft. I froze mid-sip. No one ever visited unannounced anymore. I walked to the door, cautious, and peered through the peephole. It was her. Emma. She looked smaller somehow. Not physically, she still wore that beige coat with the gold buttons, but her posture had folded in on itself. Head down. Shoulders hunched. Hands stuffed deep in her pockets like she was trying to disappear. I didn't open the door. Liam, she called, her voice muffled. I opened it just a crack. Just enough to show her my face. Not enough to invite her in. She looked up like someone who hadn't slept. "Hi," she said, almost whispering. I didn't say anything. Just waited. I know I shouldn't be here. But I didn't know how else to reach you. Still, I said nothing. Silence had always unsettled her. It still did. She filled the space. "I've lost everyone," she said, starting. "Madison doesn't talk to me. Half my friends stopped replying to texts. My job cut my hours. Everything just collapsed." I waited. Coffee cooling in my hand. "I made a mistake," she said. "The biggest one of my life." There it was. The line. I let the silence stretch again. She started crying. Not the crocodile tears kind. Not performative. This time, they looked real. The kind that comes when a person realizes they've run out of stories to tell themselves. "I was scared," she said. "I wanted control. I didn't realize how far I'd gone until it was too late." "You didn't realize," I finally said, voice flat, "until you lost control." She flinched. "I know I hurt you," she said. "And I'll never forgive myself for what I said that night. I was cruel. Selfish. Arrogant." I nodded once. "You were," I said. "You still are. But at least now you know it." "I don't want anything from you," she added quickly. "I'm not here to beg or ask for money or a second chance. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. In person." She reached into her coat pocket, pulled out a folded envelope, and held it out to me. I wrote it. Everything. No excuses. No manipulation. Just the truth. I didn't take it. "You already told me the truth," I said. "You just didn't know I was listening." Her hand dropped to her side. We stood like that for a moment. Two people who once shared everything. Now just echoes. "Goodbye, Emma." I closed the door. Gently. Didn't slam it. Didn't lock it right away. Just stood there, the space between us finally sealed. On the other side, I heard a quiet sob, then footsteps retreating down the hallway. I didn't look through the peephole this time. She came looking for closure. I already had mine. 3 months passed after that last knock. She didn't come back. She didn't text. Didn't email. Not even a birthday message when mine rolled around. I thought that might be the final test, see if she'd try to creep back in with something nostalgic. But no. I guess she meant it when she said goodbye. Or maybe she finally understood that I didn't need one more word. In those months, I rebuilt more than just a routine, I rebuilt myself. I started waking up early again. Hit the gym before work. Joined a local climbing group. On Sundays, I drive out to the coast, just to sit by the water and write in that same notebook I used to list all the things I let slide. Now, that same notebook had a different list. Things I'll never tolerate again. It was short. Direct. Emotional manipulation. Being someone's placeholder. Excuses masked as apologies. Emma had tried to make herself the final chapter of my story. But I realized something standing on that windy cliffside overlooking the ocean. She was just a plot twist. I was the author. And I had more pages to write. About a week ago, I got lunch with Jared. He slapped down a gossip magazine on the table, laughing. Emma was in it. Some influencer had tagged her in a brunch pic, calling her the friend with the cursed proposal. Apparently, word of what happened had twisted its way through town, minus the details, of course, but the general version? That she'd lost a good man and didn't even realize it until it was too late. That version I could live with. We clinked glasses. Later that night, after Jared left, I went home and opened the envelope Emma had tried to give me that day. Yeah. I kept it. Didn't open it until now, though. Inside, just one page. Handwritten. No rambling. No begging. Just this. "I don't deserve forgiveness, and I know you'll never read this. But I want you to know I see it now. You weren't boring. You were steady. Kind. Safe. The kind of man people spend their whole lives looking for, and I had you. And I mocked that. I'm sorry. For everything. I hope someone who deserves you finds you, and when they do, I hope you smile the way you used to around me. Emma." I folded the letter slowly. Put it back in the envelope. Then dropped it into the fireplace. It burned quietly, no drama. Just paper curling into ash. Fitting, really. Something fake turning to smoke. And then I did something I hadn't done in years. I smiled. Not the bitter kind. Not a smirk. A real smile. The kind that says, I'm still here. And I made it through. Because here's the truth. She tried to walk away with everything. And ended up with nothing. I walked away with myself. And that was more than enough.